Claire Bennett's vision split into two overlapping images the moment she realized her drink tasted wrong. The bathroom stall door won't lock properly. She's jabbing at the cheap metal latch with fingers that won't cooperate while her knees buckle and the fluorescent lights overhead turn into streaking white lines. 20 minutes ago she was sitting across from Brandon Hoffman in a booth at the Blue Light Lounge in downtown Seattle listening to him talk about his portfolio. Now she's collapsing against a toilet in a locked bathroom trying to remember her roommate's phone number. Her phone hits the tile floor. The screen cracks but stays lit. She needs help. Her brain knows this but her hands won't grip anything properly. She's a nursing student. She knows what Rohypnol does to the body. 15 to 30 minutes before total incapacitation. She's got maybe 10 minutes left before she loses consciousness completely. Becca's number. She tries to type it from memory. Her thumb slides across the screen. The digits blur together. She hits what she thinks is a 6 but might be a 9. The area code looks wrong but she can't focus long enough to fix it. She types the message with her eyes half closed. Help. Someone drugged me. Blue Light Lounge. Bathroom. Second floor. Can't move. Send. Her head drops forward. The phone screen goes dark then lights up again. Someone's calling. No. Someone's texting back. The letters swim in front of her eyes. Unknown number. Who is this? She forces her fingers to move. Claire. Please. He drugged my drink. He's coming back. The three dots pulse on the screen. They disappear. Come back. Disappear again. Her heart is slamming against her ribs but her breathing is getting shallow. The drug is pulling her under like a riptide and she's got nothing to grab onto. The reply comes through. Where are you exactly? She types back. Bathroom stall. Second floor. East side near exit. The response is immediate. Lock the door. Don't open it for anyone. I'm on my way. She stares at the screen. This isn't Becca. The typing style is different. Shorter. More direct. She didn't text Becca. She texted a stranger. Her stomach lurches and for a second she thinks she might throw up but then the bathroom door slams open and Brandon's voice cuts through the fog in her head. Claire? You all right in there? She can't answer. Her throat won't work. She watches his shoes appear under the stall door. Expensive leather. Polished. He knocks twice on the metal door and the sound echoes inside her skull like a drum. Come on out. Let's get you some air. You probably just need to sit down. Her back presses against the cold tile wall. The phone is still in her hand but her grip is loosening. She can feel it starting to slip. Brandon knocks again. Harder this time. Claire. I'm getting worried. Did you get sick? She tries to pull her feet up onto the toilet seat so he can't see them under the door but her legs won't cooperate. They're dead weight. She can hear him breathing on the other side of the thin metal barrier. Patient. Waiting. Her phone buzzes. The screen lights up her lap. Stay where you are. Don't make a sound. 2 minutes. If you're enjoying this story, hit the subscribe button for more like this. 2 minutes. She doesn't have 2 minutes. She's got maybe 90 seconds before she passes out completely. Brandon's shadow shifts under the door. She hears him take a step back. Then another. His phone rings. He answers it. Yeah. I'm still here. She's in the bathroom. No, she's not coming out. I don't know, maybe she actually did get sick. Give me a few more minutes. He ends the call. She hears him walk back toward the stall. His knuckles rap against the door 3 times. Sharp. Impatient now. Claire. I'm going to get the manager if you don't answer me. Downstairs something crashes. Loud enough that the music can't drown it out. Brandon stops mid-sentence. The hell was that? More crashing. Glass breaking. Shouting. The music cuts off and the silence that replaces it is worse than the noise. Claire can hear everything now. Multiple sets of footsteps pounding up the stairs. Fast. Heavy. Men's shoes on hardwood. Brandon backs away from the stall. His voice changes. Hey. Hey, you can't be up here, this is private. A voice responds. Deep. American but with something underneath it that sounds like gravel scraping pavement. Where is she? Brandon's shoes shift. Who? What are you talking about? The woman who texted this number 4 minutes ago. Where is she? Claire's fingers tighten on her phone. The stranger. The one who said he was coming. He's here. Brandon's voice goes up. I don't know what you're talking about. You need to leave before I call the cops. The sound that follows is sudden and wet. A thud. Brandon hits the floor. His body makes a sound like a sandbag dropping. She hears him gasping. Choking. Then another voice. Multiple voices. Accented. One in a language she doesn't recognize. Footsteps moving fast. The stall door rattles. She jerks back. A voice on the other side. Different from the first one. Softer. Still American. Miss Bennett. My name is Gabriel Reeves. I'm the one who replied to your text. I need you to unlock this door. Her hand moves toward the latch but stops halfway. How do you know my name? Your phone's contact information. Please unlock the door. We don't have much time. She looks at the lock. Her fingers are barely functioning. Why should I trust you? Because the man who drugged you is currently unconscious on the bathroom floor and his associate is on his way up here right now. You can trust me or you can wait for him. Your choice. She reaches for the lock. Her hand shakes so badly she can barely grip it. The metal slides back with a click and the door swings open. The man standing in front of her doesn't look like a rescuer. He looks like something that stepped out of a nightmare wearing a $3,000 suit. Tall. Broad shoulders. Dark hair swept back from a face that's all sharp angles and cold eyes. There's blood on his knuckles. Fresh. Behind him she can see Brandon sprawled on the tile floor. Not moving. Gabriel Reeves looks at her. Takes in the state she's in. Her unfocused eyes. Her limp posture. Her inability to stand. He turns his head slightly and speaks to someone behind him in a language she doesn't understand. Korean maybe. She took a semester of it in college but her brain is too foggy to process anything. A second man appears. Shorter. Stockier. He's carrying what looks like a jacket. Gabriel takes it and wraps it around Claire's shoulders, then slides one arm under her knees and the other behind her back. He lifts her like she weighs nothing. Wait. What are you? Her words slur together. What about Brandon? Brandon Hoffman is going to wake up in approximately 10 minutes with a concussion and a broken nose. He'll be very confused about what happened. Gabriel's voice is calm. Matter of fact. Like he's discussing the weather. We need to leave before his friend arrives. He carries her out of the bathroom. She tries to focus on her surroundings but everything is moving too fast. The hallway. The stairs. People scattered everywhere. Some on the ground. Some pressed against walls. All of them looking terrified. Gabriel doesn't slow down. He moves through the chaos like it's not even there. Outside, the cold Seattle air hits her face and she gasps. The shock of it clears her head for just a second. Long enough to see the black SUV idling at the curb with its doors already open. Long enough to see 3 more men in dark suits standing around it like sentries. Long enough to realize she just traded one dangerous situation for another. Gabriel slides her into the back seat. The leather is soft. Warm. The interior smells like expensive cologne and gun oil. He climbs in beside her and pulls the door shut. The SUV moves before the door even clicks closed. She tries to sit up but her body won't respond. Gabriel reaches over and adjusts her position so she's not sliding off the seat. His hands are surprisingly gentle for someone who just put a man on the floor. "Who are you?" She manages to get the words out even though her tongue feels swollen. "I already told you." Gabriel Reeves. "That's not what I mean. Why did you come?" "I texted the wrong number." He looks at her. Really looks at her. There's something in his eyes that wasn't there before. Something that looks almost like recognition. "You texted my sister's number." Claire's brain tries to process this but the Rohypnol is winning. "Your sister. She died 2 years ago." Gabriel's voice drops. Loses that hard edge. "I kept her phone active. Paid the bill every month. Never turned it off. Tonight was the first time anyone texted it since the funeral." The SUV takes a corner fast. Claire slides across the seat and Gabriel catches her. Steadies her. She looks up at him and the pieces start clicking together even through the fog. "You thought it was her?" "For about 3 seconds, yes. Then I read the message and realized someone was in trouble." He pauses. "My sister died because no one came when she called for help. I wasn't going to let that happen to someone else." The drug is pulling her under. She can feel consciousness slipping away like water through her fingers. She tries to fight it but her eyelids are too heavy. The last thing she sees before everything goes black is Gabriel's face. Sharp. Cold. Completely focused on her like she's the only thing in the world that matters right now. When she wakes up she's not in a hospital. The ceiling above her is too ornate for a hospital. Crown molding. Recessed lighting. A ceiling fan with wooden blades turning slowly. She blinks and tries to sit up but her body feels like it's made of lead. Every muscle aches. Her mouth tastes like copper and her head is pounding. "Easy." The voice comes from her left. A woman's voice. Calm. Professional. "You're safe. Don't try to move too fast." Claire turns her head. There's a woman sitting in a chair beside the bed. Mid-50s. Glasses. White coat over a button-down shirt. She's holding a tablet and watching Claire with the kind of expression doctors use when they're trying not to alarm their patients. "Where am I?" Claire's voice comes out as a croak. "You're at a private residence." The woman stands and walks over to the bed. Checks Claire's pulse. Shines a light in her eyes. "I'm Dr. Sarah Lynn. Mr. Reeves brought you here after the incident at the lounge. You were given Rohypnol. About 2 milligrams based on your symptoms. It's mostly worked its way out of your system now but you're going to feel weak for another few hours." Claire tries to process this. A private residence. Not a hospital. Not the police station. How long was I out? About 6 hours. It's 4 in the morning. Dr. Lynn sets down her tablet. You're very lucky Mr. Reeves responded to your text when he did. Another 15 minutes and you would have been completely incapacitated. The man who drugged you would have been able to do whatever he wanted. The memory comes back in fragments. The bathroom. Brandon's voice. Gabriel's face. The blood on his knuckles. She looks down at herself. She's wearing clothes that aren't hers. Soft cotton pajamas. Her dress is gone. Her shoes are gone. Panic spikes in her chest. Who changed my clothes? I did. Dr. Lin's voice is firm. Reassuring. No one else. I'm a licensed physician. I needed to examine you to make sure there were no other injuries. You're fine. No signs of assault. Just the drug. Claire's hands shake as she pushes herself up against the headboard. The room comes into focus. It's huge. Bigger than her entire apartment. Floor-to-ceiling windows on one wall showing the Seattle skyline lit up against the pre-dawn darkness. Expensive furniture. Art on the walls that looks like it belongs in a museum. Where am I exactly? The Reeves estate. About 20 minutes outside the city. Dr. Lin picks up a glass of water from the nightstand and hands it to Claire. Drink this. You're dehydrated. Claire takes the glass but doesn't drink. The Reeves estate. Gabriel Reeves. She doesn't know anyone named Reeves. She doesn't know anything about this man except that he showed up when she needed help and now she's in his house wearing his clothes and she has no idea how to get home. I want to leave. That's not advisable. Dr. Lin sits back down. You're still recovering. And frankly you're safer here than you would be anywhere else right now. Safer from what? The door opens before Dr. Lin can answer. Gabriel walks in. He's changed clothes. No more blood on his hands. He's wearing dark jeans and a black shirt with the sleeves rolled up. There are tattoos on his forearms. Intricate. Asian-style dragons and characters she can't read. He looks at Dr. Lin. How is she? Stable. Recovering. Dr. Lin stands. I'll give you two some privacy. She leaves. The door clicks shut behind her. Gabriel doesn't move from his position near the door. He just stands there watching Claire with those cold eyes like he's trying to figure out a puzzle. I want to go home. Claire sets the water glass down on the nightstand. Thank you for helping me but I need to leave. You can't. The certainty in his voice makes her stomach drop. What do you mean I can't? Brandon Hoffman filed a police report 3 hours ago. Gabriel crosses his arms. Claims you attacked him unprovoked. Says you're mentally unstable. There's a warrant out for your arrest. Claire's chest tightens. That's insane. He's the one who drugged me. I know. Gabriel's expression doesn't change. But he's the son of Richard Hoffman, Seattle District Attorney. His father has connections in every precinct in the city. If you walk out of here and try to go home, the police will pick you up within an hour. They'll take you into custody. And Brandon's father will make sure you disappear into the system while Brandon walks free. She stares at him. This can't be happening. This is not how her night was supposed to go. She was supposed to have one drink with a guy she met at a coffee shop last week. Go home. Study for her midterms. Not end up drugged and rescued by a stranger and trapped in a house she doesn't recognize because the man who tried to hurt her has powerful friends. So what am I supposed to do? Her voice cracks. Just stay here forever. No. Gabriel finally moves. He walks over to the window and looks out at the city lights. You stay here until I fix this. Fix it how? He turns to look at her. The light from the window cuts across his face and for the first time she notices the scar running from his left eyebrow to his hairline. Thin. Old. Almost invisible unless you're looking for it. Brandon Hoffman made a mistake tonight. He tried to hurt someone under my protection. That's not something I tolerate. I'm not under your protection. I don't even know you. You texted my sister's number. Gabriel's voice goes quiet. That makes you my responsibility whether you want to be or not. Claire pulls the blanket up around herself like it's armor. Your sister. The one who died. What happened to her? She was killed by someone she trusted. Someone who promised to keep her safe. Gabriel's jaw tightens. When she called for help, no one came. I was overseas. By the time I got back, it was too late. I'm sorry. Don't be. He looks back out the window. It taught me a valuable lesson. Never ignore a call for help. Never assume someone else will handle it. When that phone rang tonight, I thought I was losing my mind. I thought maybe I'd finally cracked. Then I read your message and I realized the universe was giving me a second chance. A second chance at what? At doing what I should have done 2 years ago. He turns back to her. Protecting someone who needed it. The weight of his stare is too much. Claire looks away. At the expensive furniture. The art on the walls. The floor-to-ceiling windows. This isn't protection. This is a cage. You're not a prisoner. Gabriel's voice is steady. You're a guest. There's a difference. Then let me leave. Not until it's safe. And who decides when it's safe? You. Yes. She wants to argue. Wants to scream. But her body is still weak from the drug and her head is pounding and she doesn't have the energy to fight someone who just saved her life, even if he's also trapping her in a mansion she didn't ask to be brought to. Gabriel walks toward the door. Stops with his hand on the handle. There's food downstairs if you're hungry. Dr. Lin will check on you again in a few hours. If you need anything, there's a phone on the nightstand. Just pick it up and someone will answer. He leaves. The door closes behind him with a soft click that sounds too much like a lock turning. Claire sits in the enormous bed in the enormous room and stares at the Seattle skyline through the windows. Somewhere out there Brandon Hoffman is walking around free while she's trapped in a stranger's house. Somewhere out there her roommate probably thinks she's dead. Somewhere out there her life is falling apart and there's nothing she can do about it. She picks up the phone on the nightstand. Thinks about calling Becca. Thinks about calling the police. Thinks about calling anyone who might help her get out of here. Then she remembers Gabriel's face when he talked about his sister. The way his voice changed. The scar on his eyebrow. The blood on his knuckles. She puts the phone down. 3 days pass like a fever dream. Claire spends most of the time in the bedroom. Dr. Lin checks on her twice a day. Brings her food. Makes sure she's hydrating. Answers her medical questions but deflects anything about Gabriel or the house or when she might be able to leave. On the 4th day Claire feels strong enough to leave the bedroom. Her legs don't shake anymore when she stands. Her head doesn't pound. The Rohypnol is completely out of her system and all that's left is anger. She opens the bedroom door expecting guards or locked hallways, but there's nothing. Just an empty corridor lined with closed doors and expensive art. She walks down the hall. Takes the stairs. The house is massive. Every room she passes is decorated like something out of an architecture magazine. Modern. Clean. Empty. She finds the kitchen. It's all white countertops and stainless steel appliances. There's a pot of coffee already made. She pours herself a cup and stands at the window looking out at the grounds. Manicured gardens. A fountain. Trees. In the distance she can see a gate. High. Metal. Closed. You're up. The voice makes her jump. She turns. Gabriel is standing in the doorway. He's wearing a suit today. Charcoal gray. No tie. He looks like he just stepped out of a business meeting. I needed coffee. Claire sets down her cup. When can I leave? Soon. That's not an answer. It's the only answer I have right now. Gabriel walks over to the coffee pot. Pours himself a cup. Brandon's father is making noise. Threatening to bring charges against anyone who interferes with the investigation. I need to handle that first. Handle it how? You don't want to know. Maybe I do. He looks at her over the rim of his coffee cup. The cold expression is back. No. You don't. She wants to push, but something in his eyes stops her. Instead, she asks a different question. Who are you? Really? I told you. Gabriel Reeves. That's a name. Not an answer. Claire crosses her arms. Normal people don't have private doctors and mansions outside the city and the kind of connections that let them extract someone from a crime scene without the police getting involved. Gabriel sets down his coffee cup. Leans back against the counter. You're right. I'm not normal people. So what are you? I run a logistics company. Import-export. We move goods across international borders. Sometimes those goods are legal. Sometimes they're not. Gabriel's voice is matter of fact. Like he's describing the weather. I have business interests in Seattle, Portland, Vancouver, Tokyo, Seoul. Those interests require a certain level of protection. That protection occasionally involves methods that law enforcement would not approve of. You're a criminal. I prefer the term entrepreneur, but yes. Gabriel doesn't look away. Doesn't flinch. If that makes you uncomfortable, I understand. But it's also the reason I was able to pull you out of that lounge without the police arresting both of us. Claire's hands shake. She sets down her coffee cup before she drops it. I got rescued by a criminal because I texted a dead girl's phone number. This is insane. You got rescued because you asked for help and I answered. Gabriel's voice softens just slightly. Everything else is just context. The sound of footsteps interrupts them. A man appears in the kitchen doorway. Shorter than Gabriel. Stocky. Asian features. He's wearing tactical gear and carrying a phone. He says something in Korean. Gabriel responds in the same language. The man nods and disappears. What was that? Claire asks. An update. Gabriel picks up his coffee cup again. Brandon Hoffman was just admitted to Swedish Medical Center. Why? Because someone broke both his hands. Claire's stomach drops. You said you were going to handle it. I did. By breaking his hands. He drugged you. He was going to assault you. Probably would have killed you to cover it up. Gabriel's voice is calm. Clinical. Breaking his hand seems proportionate. She backs away from him. From the counter. From the coffee and the expensive kitchen and the man who just casually admitted to maiming someone. You're insane. I'm practical. There's a difference. Gabriel sets down his cup. Brandon Hoffman will never use his hands the same way again. He won't be able to hold a drink. Won't be able to hurt anyone. His medical records will show extensive trauma consistent with a car accident. No one will be able to prove otherwise. What about his father? The district attorney. Richard Hoffman is currently under federal investigation for embezzlement. Gabriel smiles. It's not a warm smile. Turns out he's been skimming money from evidence seizures for the last decade. The FBI received an anonymous tip this morning. Complete with financial records and witness statements. He'll be too busy trying to save his own career to worry about his son. You did that. I made some calls. Claire's back hits the wall. She slides down until she's sitting on the floor. Her nursing degree didn't prepare her for this. Nothing prepared her for this. I just wanted to go on a date. That's all. Just one stupid date. Gabriel walks over. crouches down in front of her. I know. And I'm sorry this happened to you. But you're safe now. Brandon can't hurt you. His father can't hurt you. The warrant for your arrest will be dropped by the end of the week. You can go back to your life. What life? Claire looks up at him. Everyone thinks I'm insane. My roommate probably thinks I'm dead. I've missed a week of classes. My whole life just imploded because some guy slipped something in my drink. Then we rebuild it. Gabriel's voice is quiet. Certain. I have resources. I can make sure your professors excuse your absences. I can make sure your roommate knows you're safe. I can make sure you have everything you need. Why? She searches his face for answers. Why would you do all this for a stranger? Because you're not a stranger. Gabriel reaches out. Hesitates. Then very gently touches the sleeve of her shirt. The pajamas she's been wearing. You're the girl who texted my sister's number asking for help. That makes you family. The word lands like a punch. Family. She doesn't even know this man and he's calling her family. Her phone buzzes in her pocket. She pulls it out. Becca's name flashes across the screen. 14 missed calls. 27 texts. All asking where she is. If she's okay. If she's alive. Answer it. Gabriel stands up. Tell her you're safe. Claire stares at the phone. At Becca's name. At the life she had before everything went wrong. She answers. Becca's voice explodes through the speaker. Where the hell have you been? I've been losing my mind. I called the police. I called your brother. I thought you were dead. I'm okay. Claire's voice shakes. I'm safe. I'm sorry I didn't call sooner. Where are you? She looks up at Gabriel. He's watching her. Waiting. She takes a breath. I'm with a friend. I'll explain everything when I get home. I promise. When are you coming home? Soon. Claire keeps her eyes on Gabriel. Really soon. She ends the call. Gabriel nods once. Good. He turns to leave then stops. There's one more thing you should know. What? Brandon had a partner. Someone who was supposed to help him move you once you were unconscious. That person is still out there. He hasn't been found yet. Claire's blood runs cold. What do you mean? I mean Brandon didn't work alone. There's someone else involved. Someone who knows your face. Your name. Where you go to school. Gabriel's expression hardens. Until we find him you're not safe. So I'm still trapped here. You're still protected here. Gabriel corrects. There's a difference. He leaves before she can argue. The kitchen falls silent except for the sound of her own breathing and the distant hum of the refrigerator. Claire sits on the floor and stares at her phone. At Becca's name in the call log. At the life waiting for her outside these walls. A life that suddenly feels very far away. A week becomes 2. Claire moves through the house like a ghost. Gabriel is rarely there. He leaves before dawn and comes back after midnight. When he is there he's locked in his office making phone calls in 3 different languages. Dr. Lin stops coming. The guards at the gate change shifts but never leave their posts. Claire finds a library on the 2nd floor. Floor-to-ceiling bookshelves. A fireplace. Windows that overlook the gardens. She spends her afternoons there reading medical textbooks and trying to keep up with her coursework. Gabriel had someone retrieve her laptop from her apartment. Sent her professor's doctor's notes explaining her absence. Got her extensions on every assignment. She should be grateful. She is grateful. But gratitude feels complicated when it comes with locked gates and armed guards. On the 15th day Gabriel appears in the library. He's holding a file. He sets it down on the table in front of her. We found him. Brandon's partner. Claire looks at the file. Doesn't open it. Who is he? His name is Andrew Chen. Works in IT for a tech company downtown. He and Brandon met in college. They've been doing this for 3 years. Targeting women in bars. Drugging them. Gabriel's voice is flat. Emotionless. You would have been number 12. The number hits her like a physical blow. 12. There were 11 others. 8 are dead. 3 are missing. The police never connected the cases because the victims came from different parts of the city. Different demographics. No pattern except that they all disappeared after going on dates with men they met online. Claire's hands shake. She presses them flat against the table. What happens now? Andrew Chen is currently in federal custody. He's being charged with 11 counts of murder and 3 counts of kidnapping. The evidence against him is overwhelming. He'll spend the rest of his life in prison. And Brandon? Brandon is cooperating with investigators. Giving up names. Locations. Evidence. In exchange his charges will be reduced. He'll serve maybe 15 years. That's not justice. No. Gabriel sits down across from her. It's not. But it's the best outcome we're going to get. Brandon's father may be under investigation, but he still has friends. Friends who can make evidence disappear. Witnesses recant. If we push too hard the whole case falls apart and both of them walk. So he gets away with it. He gets to live. Gabriel's eyes are cold. That's more than his victims got. And every day he wakes up in prison knowing his hands will never work the same way again. He'll remember what happens to men who hurt women. That's a kind of justice. Claire opens the file. There are photos inside. Crime scene photos. Locations where bodies were found. Women who look like her. Young. Brunette. College age. All of them smiling in the before pictures. All of them gone in the after. She closes the file. I could have been number 12. But you weren't. Gabriel reaches across the table. Covers her hand with his. You're here. You're alive. That's what matters. His hand is warm. Rough. There are scars across his knuckles. Old ones. She should pull away. Should put distance between herself and this man who breaks hands and makes federal investigations appear out of thin air. But she doesn't. Thank you. The words feel inadequate. Too small for what he did. But they're all she has. You already thanked me. I know. But I'm saying it again. Thank you for coming. Thank you for not ignoring a text from a stranger. Thank you for keeping me safe. Gabriel's expression softens. Just slightly. Just enough that she can see past the cold exterior to something underneath. Something that looks almost human. You don't have to thank me. I told you. You're family now. The word still feels strange. Family. She barely knows him. But he's done more for her in 2 weeks than most of her actual family has done in years. Can I go home now? She asks. The case is over. Andrew's in custody. Brandon's cooperating. I'm not in danger anymore. Not yet. Gabriel pulls his hand back. There's still the warrant. It takes time to make that disappear. Another few days. Then I can leave. Then you can leave. She should feel relieved. Happy. But all she feels is strange emptiness. Like leaving means walking away from the only person who showed up when she needed help. Like going back to her apartment and her classes and her normal life means pretending none of this happened. What about you? She asks. What happens to you when I leave? I go back to work. Gabriel stands. Back to running my company. Back to my life. Will I see you again? He pauses. Looks at her with an expression she can't read. Do you want to? I don't know. Claire is being honest. You saved my life. You also terrify me. I don't know how those two things fit together. They don't have to fit together. Gabriel walks toward the door. You can go back to your life and never think about me again. Or you can keep my number. Call me if you ever need anything. The choice is yours. He leaves. The library falls silent. Claire sits at the table with the file in front of her and stares at the empty doorway. She stays 3 more days. On the morning of the 18th day, Gabriel tells her the warrant has been dropped. The charges dismissed. She's free to go. A car drives her back to her apartment. Not the black SUV. Something normal. A sedan. The driver doesn't speak. Just drops her at the curb and drives away. Becca nearly tackles her when she walks through the door. There are tears and questions and apologies. Claire tells her a version of the truth. That she was drugged. That someone helped her. That she stayed with a friend while she recovered. Becca doesn't push for details. Just holds her and cries and says she's glad Claire is alive. Life goes back to normal. Classes. Clinicals. Study groups. Coffee with friends. Claire throws herself into her routine like she's trying to drown in it. Trying to forget the mansion and the library and the man with cold eyes who called her family. But at night when she's alone in her apartment she thinks about Gabriel. Wonders what he's doing. If he thinks about her. If he's still paying the bill on his dead sister's phone waiting for another wrong number to save him. A month passes. Then 2. The police close the case against Andrew Chen. He's sentenced to life without parole. Brandon gets 12 years with possibility of parole in 8. His father resigns from the district attorney's office. The news covers it for a week then moves on to the next scandal. Claire is studying for finals when her phone buzzes. Unknown number. She almost deletes it. Then she sees the message. There's a coffee shop on Pike Street. Corner booth. Tomorrow at noon. If you want answers to the questions you didn't ask. She stares at the message. She should delete it. Should block the number. Should go back to her normal life and leave Gabriel Reeves in the past where he belongs. She shows up at the coffee shop at 11:55. Gabriel is already there. Same booth. Same cold expression. He's reading a newspaper like he's got all the time in the world. He looks up when she slides into the seat across from him. You came. You said I'd get answers. Ask your questions. Claire folds her hands on the table. Why did you really help me? And don't say it's because I texted your sister's number. There's more to it than that. Gabriel sets down his newspaper. My sister's name was Hannah. She was 23 when she died. She texted me the night it happened. Said she needed help. Said someone was hurting her. I was in Tokyo closing a deal. I told her I'd call her when I landed. I didn't think it was urgent. What happened? By the time I got back she was gone. The man she trusted had killed her and dumped her body in the Sound. They didn't find her for 3 weeks. Gabriel's voice is steady but there's something underneath it. Something raw. I spent 2 years hunting the man who did it. When I found him I made sure he suffered. Claire's stomach turns. You killed him. No. I made him wish he was dead. Then I turned him over to some people who had their own reasons to want him gone. He won't see daylight again. That's not justice either. No. But it's closure. Gabriel leans forward. When your text came through, I thought I was losing my mind. Thought maybe I'd kept that phone active so long I'd started hallucinating. Then I realized it was real. Someone needed help and I had the chance to do what I should have done for Hannah. Show up. Claire's throat tightens. I'm not your sister. No. But you could have been. And that was enough. They sit in silence. The coffee shop fills with lunch crowd noise. Students. Professionals. Normal people living normal lives. Claire wonders what they would think if they knew what the man across from her had done. What he's capable of. I googled you. Claire says. There's almost nothing online. A few business articles. One photo from a charity event. That's it. I prefer to keep a low profile. Why did you want to meet? Because I wanted to see how you were doing. Gabriel's expression softens. You went through something traumatic. I needed to make sure you were okay. I'm fine. You're lying. Claire looks away. At the other customers. The barista making drinks. The normal world that feels so far away now. I have nightmares. Every night. I wake up and I can't move and I'm back in that bathroom stall waiting for Brandon to kick down the door. That's normal. It'll fade with time. How do you know? Because I have them too. Different bathroom. Different door. But the same feeling of being too late to save someone. Claire looks back at him. Do yours fade? No. But I've learned to live with them. She wants to ask more but the weight of his stare stops her. Instead she asks something else. The phone. Your sister's phone. Are you going to keep it active? Yes. Why? Because maybe the universe will send me another wrong number. Gabriel stands. Drops a 20 on the table for the coffee she hasn't ordered yet. And maybe next time I'll be fast enough to save them before they need saving. He walks out. Leaves her sitting in the coffee shop with more questions than she came with. She picks up her own phone. Stares at the unknown number in her messages. She should delete it. Should block him. Should cut all ties to the man who saved her life and broke someone's hands doing it. She saves his contact instead. Just in case. Life continues. Claire graduates. Gets her nursing license. Takes a job at Seattle General in the ER. She's good at her work. Calm under pressure. Good with patience. Her supervisor says she has a gift for staying focused when everything around her is chaos. She doesn't tell anyone that she learned that skill in a bathroom stall watching her vision blur while a predator waited outside. 6 months after graduation she's working a night shift when a patient comes in. Gunshot wound. Multiple injuries. The police are swarming. The man is handcuffed to the gurney. She's assigned to assist with his care. The patient's name is listed as John Doe. But when she looks at his face she recognizes him. It's one of Gabriel's men. The shorter one. The one who was there the night he pulled her from the lounge. She doesn't say anything. Just does her job. Cleans the wound. Assists the surgeon. Monitors vitals. When the police ask her questions she tells them she's never seen this man before. She doesn't know why she lies. Just that it feels right. 3 days later Gabriel shows up at her apartment. He's holding takeout bags and wearing jeans and a t-shirt. The most casual she's ever seen him. I heard you saved Tony's life. I was just doing my job. You lied to the police. They were asking questions I didn't have answers to. Gabriel sets down the takeout bags. Thank you. You don't have to thank me. Yes I do. He looks at her. Really looks at her. Tony's been with me for 10 years. He's family. What you did matters. They eat Chinese food on her couch. Talk about nothing important. Work. Weather. The city. Gabriel is different here. Less cold. More human. He laughs at something she says and the sound surprises her. You should do that more often. She says. What? Laugh. It makes you seem less terrifying. I'm not terrifying. You broke someone's hands. He deserved it. That's not the point. What is the point? Gabriel sets down his food. Looks at her with that intense stare that makes her feel like he's seeing straight through her. The point is you saved me and I'm grateful, but I'm also scared of you. Claire doesn't look away. You're dangerous. You hurt people. You have a dead sister whose phone you keep active like a shrine. You showed up in my life because I made a mistake and now I can't stop thinking about you, and I don't know if that's trauma bonding or something else, but either way it's messed up. Gabriel is quiet for a long time. Then he says. I think about you too. Why? Because you're the first person I saved who didn't stay saved. Most people I help disappear. Go back to their lives. Never want to see me again. But you. He gestures at the takeout. You lied to protect one of my men. You saved his life. You could have walked away but you didn't. Maybe I'm just as messed up as you are. Maybe. Gabriel leans closer. Or maybe you understand that the world isn't black and white. That sometimes the people who do bad things are the only ones willing to do what needs to be done. This is a terrible idea. Claire says. But she doesn't pull away. Probably. Gabriel agrees. But when has that ever stopped anyone? He kisses her. It's not gentle. Not soft. It's desperate and intense and feels like falling off a cliff. Claire kisses him back because she's been thinking about this for months. Because he's the only person who showed up when she needed help. Because maybe broken people are the only ones who understand each other. When they finally break apart, Gabriel rests his forehead against hers. This complicates things. Everything's already complicated. Fair point. They sit on her couch eating cold Chinese food and Claire realizes her life will never be normal again. She's tied to this man now. To his world. To his darkness. And the worst part is she doesn't want to walk away. Gabriel's phone buzzes. He checks it. Frowns. I have to go. Work. Something like that. Will I see you again? Do you want to? Yes. He stands. Pulls on his jacket. I'll call you. He leaves. Claire sits alone in her apartment and wonders what she just got herself into. Then she picks up her phone and stares at his contact information. Gabriel Reeves. The man who saved her. The man who terrifies her. The man she can't stop thinking about. She doesn't delete his number. Doesn't block him. Just sets down her phone and goes back to her normal life knowing that nothing about it is normal anymore. 2 weeks later she gets another text. Unknown number. But she knows who it is. Dinner tomorrow. Same coffee shop. Don't say no. She shouldn't go. Should block his number. Should run as far away as possible from a man who breaks hands and makes people disappear. She shows up 15 minutes early. Gabriel is waiting in the same booth. He's holding a small box. Sets it on the table when she sits down. What's this? Claire asks. Open it. Inside is a phone. Not a smartphone. An old flip phone. The kind people stopped using a decade ago. It's Hannah's phone. Gabriel says quietly. I want you to have it. I can't take this. Yes, you can. It saved your life. Maybe it'll save someone else's. Claire stares at the phone. At the scratched screen and worn buttons. This is too much. Nothing I do for you will ever be too much. Gabriel reaches across the table. Takes her hand. You texted a wrong number and accidentally summoned a monster. But maybe that monster is exactly what you needed. You're not a monster. Yes, I am. But I'm your monster now. And that has to count for something. Claire looks at him. At the scar on his eyebrow. The cold eyes that soften just slightly when he looks at her. The man who showed up when no one else did. She picks up the phone. Closes her hand around it. Okay. She says. Okay. And that's how Claire Bennett's wrong number became the right choice. She didn't just survive. She found someone who understood that sometimes salvation comes from the darkest places. Sometimes the person who saves you is the last person you should trust. And sometimes love is messy and complicated and born from trauma and bad decisions. But it's real. And in a world full of predators and wrong numbers and nights that end in bathroom stalls, real is all that matters. If you're watching this and you've ever felt like no one would come if you called for help, save this video. Share it. Because somewhere out there is someone who needs to hear that help can come from unexpected places. That survival is just the beginning of the story. And if you're that person who helps, who shows up, who refuses to ignore a call for help even from a stranger, keep doing it. Keep being the one who answers. Because you might just save a life. And that life might save you right back.